Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. It's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things right through a common sense lens. And how's that old saying go? May you live in interesting times. Well, boys and girls, we certainly do, because of all of the things out there in the world that I thought would unite both the left and the right sides of the culture out there, I did not think it would be the Walt Disney Corporation, boys and girls. But after Disney decided to preemptively remove Jimmy Kimmel from the airways, after a bunch of ABC's distributors flat out said they were not going to air his television shows at all, well, guess what? Disney flat out announced that his show is on indefinite hold, and we have no idea when Jimmy's coming back. And according to reports behind the scenes, Jimmy is refusing to apologize in any way, shape, or form for what he did. And Disney's biggest ABC television network distributor out there flat out said they will not air his show ever again unless he apologizes and donates to Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk's organization. Well, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, after Disney decided to make this decision, guess what? Now all of the leftist little psychopaths out there, all of the activists, the people possessed by the spirit of the age, have been brought together, united with the conservatives, the common sense, the libertarians, and just anybody out there that isn't completely and totally insane, because now both sides want nothing to do with Disney. And boys and girls, it's a beautiful thing to see. And the best part about this is there was a protest out there outside in LA of the show's studios. And let me tell you, boys and girls, this protest's size accurately represents Jimmy Kimmel's ratings compared to everybody else out there. Needless to say, I don't think Jimmy's going to be back anytime soon. And well, guess what, Disney? This is what happens when you dance with the devil and now you try to backtrack, because you have embedded, ingratiated, and literally promoted these psychopaths for generations at this point. At least a couple of decades, you can argue going all the way back to the 90s, if not further in some cases. You let this demon inside the walls of your corporation. It took control, and now you're enjoying the bed that you made. And it's a beautiful thing to see, boys and girls. So we're going to check out these articles. We're going to get all of the juicy details of all of the public pontification about them, of course, protesting and boycotting Disney, as well as the people that actually showed up to protest. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 2,200 on our journey to 100,000 and are sailing our way towards 2,300. I think we're sitting like 2221, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. What do you think about this? Which side are you on? Are you boycotting Disney because they fired Jimmy Kimmel? Or are you boycotting Disney because they try to indoctrinate your children into all of their insane ideology? Let us know what you think about that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support this channel, please check out the description below. And honestly, it's one of those situations where please leave us a comment. Everybody's welcome in our comment section, unlike other places. The fallout from Jimmy Kimmel's suspension after his remarks about Charlie Kirk has taken a surprising turn. While conservatives have long criticized Disney for pushing woke politics, hashtag cancel Disney Plus is something that goes around in the fellowships chats all the time. Now liberals are turning on the company, calling for boycotts of Disney, Marvel, and Disney Plus. And honestly, it's one of them situations. Disney Plus on its own is not profitable anyway, so the last thing they want is to have any of those subscriptions canceled. But let's be honest, the people screaming about this, if they actually amounted to any real money in the world, the Marvels wouldn't have flopped, boys and girls. She-Hulk would have been the #1 watch show on Marvel or The Acolyte or any of the rest of that. So honestly, is it really going to cost Disney that much money? No. But it's fun to see them get eaten by their own. That's just a beautiful thing to see. Ricky Gervais also reacted, which we covered in our last video, talking about all of that as well, because of course fans are calling for Ricky Gervais to replace Kimmel, which he simply said, shut up, no, I don't want the job. On Reddit, users have been announcing cancellations. Reddit, that's just a bastion of conservative thought, right? One post from r/Xmen from user regular opening 9431 has racked up over 1,700 upvotes, boys and girls. I've been reading X-Men continuously for 40 plus years. Canceled all the Marvel polls today at my LCS, local comic book shop, in case you didn't know. My drop in the bucket means little on its own, but hopefully enough drops will accumulate. F Disney. Well, I'm going to be completely and totally honest about this person. If you still had a Marvel pull list at your local comic book shop, considering the direction Marvel Comics have gone, okay, I know which side you fall on of things. Another widely upvoted post in television by Cubin 2017 with over 4,700 upvotes framed Disney's move as an attack on free speech. That's right. Consequence culture sure does suck when it comes for them, doesn't it? What the FCC and ABC have done, pulling Kimmel for non-Republican commentary, is an absolute abuse of power and suppression of free speech. I'll be boycotting Disney Plus because they will notice that. Oh, will they? Did Hogwarts Legacy notice all of you tranny psychos out there boycotting that? How'd that work out? Oh, that's right. It was the #1 selling game of the year. Wild. It's almost like your opinions don't really matter. On X, progressive users blasted for Disney caving for Trump and threatened to cancel vacations, cruises, and streaming subscriptions. One user said they're skipping a Disney cruise and resort stay, accusing Disney of selling out. Others mocked the company for becoming hated by both the left and the right. Let's be honest. Have you guys seen the pictures of Disney's parks lately, especially in Florida? It's a ghost town, right? It's a ghost town. These people don't amount to much. And here, why not? Before we get into some more comments, let's jump over to the actual protests, boys and girls. Protests gather as Jimmy Kimmel departs his studio after suspension of a late night show. That's right, because this suspension literally happened hours before they were supposed to start filming. That means all the crew was already there. And that's the worst part, right? The crew are out of a job now too, right? The people behind the cameras, the people behind the microphones, the people that had nothing to do with the ideology that was getting spit out in the writer's room of the Jimmy Kimmel show. They weren't responsible for any of the dumb stuff that Jimmy Kimmel said. And that's what sucks for them because now they're on hiatus as well. Hopefully they can find some more jobs because if you didn't know, most Hollywood jobs are contract basis out there. But look at all of the massive support that Jimmy Kimmel had show up. Oh, become a nerd. This is just one little section of it. How much more? Well, we've got another picture over here from later in day with the same lady out here. Yeah, not so many people. We've also got video right over here from the New York Post of what was going down and how many people were showing up outside the Jimmy Kimmel. Notice they pan away from the ground on that one. I wonder why. Well, that's because there just really aren't a lot of people out there in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, honestly, boys and girls, it's one of them situations where does any of this like really surprise you at all? That there's literally like nobody showing up to these things? Like in any way, shape, or form. I mean, they don't put any bigger pictures. It doesn't get any better. Like you can tell the reason why that one is, like if it'll actually blow up, for some reason it won't actually blow up. But I mean, you can see it down the street. Like there's literally more people watching the protesters and reporting on the protesters than there actually are people. What do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 people total. Both sides of this protest completely and totally empty. Boy, I wonder why Jimmy Kimmel's ratings are in the toilet, boys and girls. It's almost like there's not enough people out there possessed by the spirit of the age to actually finance this propaganda. It's almost like the old adage of eventually they run out of people's money actually is true. Weird, I know. This from Harry Porcupine says, liberals are going to cancel their Disney Plus subscription and Disney altogether for pulling Jimmy Kimmel off the air. Conservatives already boycott them for woke propaganda. Is this the end of the company for good? Conservatives banned Disney. Now liberal influencers are boycotting Disney after firing Jimmy Kimmel. Like I said, it took Disney and apparently President Donald Trump being in the White House to bring liberals and common sense folks out there together. Boys and girls, that's just a beautiful thing to see. The pushback highlights a rare bipartisan disdain. Conservatives have long accused Disney of shoving progressive ideology into its content. We know they have. We've got plenty of the evidence. Hell, even Disney knows they've done that, which is why all their fired Pixar employees said Disney told them they had to knock off with all the gay stuff in children's entertainment. While liberals now argue the company is silencing one of their own. Whether this backlash dents Disney's bottom line remains to be seen. At least it won't from the liberal side of things. We already know that. But it's already known that MCU shows like Disney Plus, such as She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel, have been big failures, along with Star Wars shows like The Acolyte. Marvel Comics is also thought to be one of its lowest points of all time. So yeah, that guy canceling his pull list, not exactly that big of much damage. They're already upside down anyway. So if liberals do boycott, more than likely it won't make much of a difference. Jimmy Kimmel is also thought to have been losing Disney and ABC money due to low ratings, reportedly dropping 11% alone in September, which is similar to that of Stephen Colbert, which reportedly was also losing $40 million a year before cancellation. And that's what the new company flat out said, was that it comes down to, it was money. Because there's new bosses in town over there at Paramount, Skydance, right? They're the ones in charge of that now. And they found out said it cost us too much money. And guess what? It turns out for Disney, ABC, Jimmy Kimmel's too much of a liability as well. And it's not going to matter with all these protesters. We just did this video because it's so funny to make fun of them, right? Because that's what they are. And if you're still, for some reason, on that side of things, still listening to this video, thank you. Shout out. You were open to sticking around this long and you didn't just leave a nasty comment in the comment section down below. And you know what? I applaud you because you're better than 90% of the folks out there that do normally talk about this kind of stuff out there. So shout out to you. We could probably have an actual conversation. But for everybody else out there, we knew how this is going to go. We know how it's going to go because if these people were successful in any way, shape, or form, right? Assassin's Creed Shadows would have been the #1 selling game in the history of Ubisoft, right? Star Wars Outlaws wouldn't have been the massive flop that it was. You know, Hogwarts Legacy wouldn't have ended up being the #1 game of the year and the only successfully financial game for Warner Brothers Games in the last few years. Yeah, we're looking at you, Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. You know what I mean? So it's one of them situations where it doesn't matter what these little psychopaths do. They can scream and rant and all they want. But the last few years, we've proven just on this channel alone, not to mention the histories of guys that have been doing this for a decade and that have way bigger channels than we do, we've documented the disastrous dumpster fire of all things woke, of all things progressive, of all things spirit of the age, of all things Disney. And what it has done, it's cost them billions of dollars. Hollywood's lost tens of billions of dollars. The gaming industry's probably lost hundreds of billions of dollars. Everywhere the spirit of the age goes, every organization that tries to push this propaganda loses. So color us shocked there. There was a handful of people that showed up in Los Angeles, of all places, boys and girls. I forgot to bring that up. In Los Angeles, they couldn't get more than a handful of people to show up on a Tuesday afternoon/evening. Boys and girls, if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about the state of the activists and the spirit of the age out there, I don't know what else is to it. But boys and girls, it's sure funny to watch them freak out. And shout out to Disney. After all, we should give credit where credit is due. You've literally brought together the woke, psychopathic, spirit of the age possessed activists that you have catered to for over a decade, if not longer. And the people who got boycott Disney, #cancel Disney Plus, trending on social media. Boys and girls, it's a beautiful day because after all things for the glory of God. 2 + 2 still equals 4. God is still on his throne in heaven. Up is still up. Down is still down. Good is still good. Evil is still evil. And after all, Disney, you dance with the devil. And now you're getting burned on both sides. And that's a beautiful thing to see, boys and girls. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.